And welcome back. Lacrosse, it's becoming one of the fastest growing sports in the country, but access to the game hasn't always been equal. A new program is working to change that by bringing high quality training and opportunity to young athletes with a focus on skill development, teamwork, and leadership. This initiative is not only introducing the fundamentals of lacrosse, but also fostering a sense of community and inclusion. Joining me now is the executive director of Uptown Lacrosse, Bruce Lincoln. And Bruce, good to have you, brother.
Hey, good to see you. How's everything?
Everything's good, man. Everything is good. And I am glad to have you as we can talk about this here. And lacrosse is coming to the hood.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what we say.
That's right. We had our launch on the 22nd of February, and we had it at the Police Athletic League's Harlem Center at 119th Street, and there were 150 parents, kids, and guests. It was unbelievable.
And for yourself, obviously, it's got to be a great feeling because of the simple fact that lacrosse has been your passion, right?
Yes.
And it's been what you've done. But we know, traditionally, not seen in circles and communities of color. But you have the opportunity to really bring it home.
That's right. And the idea is to grow the sport and make it just like when I was growing up, you went to a rec league and you learned how to play lacrosse. So we're going to make it just that accessible to parents who want to bring their kids. And the kids can start as early as 3rd grade and can go up to 8th grade. But now at our event on the 22nd, there were some 2nd graders there were some 1st graders running around with sticks.
Yeah. And to get started early, what does that mean in the life of a young person?
What it means is within the context of a sport like lacrosse, you learn how to stick handle. And once you're adept at that, so in Baltimore where I grew up, or in Long Island where you get started in 1st grade, by 4th and 5th grade, if you can handle a stick, then you're really ready to learn the game. And we want to do that with our young people so they become adept stick handlers, and then the athleticism and the commitment to the game can allow them to grow.
And you have a unique perspective, too, because in addition to it being, sports and athletics, you also talk about leadership development that comes through this. Share with us how leadership development is birthed out of this.
Well, just the environment that you're in. So the kids, though they didn't know it, they're in a room filled with graduates of Princeton University, who is our university partner. We had the Howard Men's Lacrosse Club there. So you're around these kind of role models. So you get used to that. And that way, you don't have to so much push for excellence. You're in an environment that just gives rise to excellence. So that's the kind of trajectory that we want to place the kids in.
When we look at kids today, obviously, a lot of them are involved in, athletics. To be in a sport such as lacrosse, knowing there are a lot of educational opportunities, scholarships, and admissions to athletic and educational opportunities that come through just being connected to the sport. For yourself, a little bit about your history.
I basically played lacrosse at Towson High School. We were lacrosse hotbed back then. It's changed, after 50 years. But we went 13 years undefeated. My senior year, we won the state championship against Annapolis. I then went on to play lacrosse at Princeton University. So we were one of the top teams back then. We're not quite as good as they are today. But for me, it was an opportunity to have that level of educational opportunity. And then as my mother impressed upon me, it was important to give back.
Right.
So then after that, I basically had a career in both education, technology, working in Harlem. But a few years ago, I wanted to get re-involved with the sport. And so this is what gave rise to Uptown Lacrosse, specifically to make sure younger kids are able to play the game, learn the sport, and just have fun playing it.
So you got the Harlem Lacrosse Academy. People will be able to learn.
Uptown Lacrosse Academy.
I should say Uptown Lacrosse Academy. People will be able to learn the sport there, right? And then at the same time, take part in the unique experience. From your perspective, what makes your work in the academy so unique?
Well, basically, the kids will be able to just play this sport no different than you and I growing up when they would throw the basketballs out. And I'm trying to make it just that popular.
Right.
The other thing is they'll be exposed to just all types of people that otherwise they wouldn't have access to. But it's a family engagement. So it's the mothers, it's the fathers that are engaged in this program. And we do it with local community-based organizations. So the Uptown Lacrosse Academy will be at the Madison Square Boys and Girls Club on 155th Street. So you're gonna come there and you'll be able to use that soccer field. Then we have a really special event called Uptown L-Ball at the Rucker. L-Ball is, think 3-on-3 hoops meets lacrosse. And you basically play it on a basketball court, and it's a fast break game with 3-on-3 teams. So we're going to do that at the Rucker. And we do that every year, fitting it inside the Rucker basketball tournament. So if you see a theme here, it's equating basketball, which we love in our community,
Absolutely.
to lacrosse, so that the kids see the tie-in.
Are you surprised by the response that you're generating?
Not really, but of course you're always surprised. I mean, my special moment was walking into the gym and seeing a first grader running around with a stick. I had just sort of envisioned the older kids with it, but to see that was really fantastic. And then the parents stayed for the entire day.
Yeah, and we know exposure to sports, athletics at an early age has a propensity of actually seeing that young person develop in that way beyond, high school,
right.
college, stuff like that. When was it first introduced to you?
Ninth grade, I saw my first lacrosse game, and I was like, whoa, that sport is cool. And what made it cool was when I knew the guy that they were showing on television. He was good friends with my cousin, and he was wearing high-top Adidas. Back in the day, there weren't a lot of leather sneakers back then, so that was kind of cool. So I saw that connection. Then when I got to Towson High School, kids were out playing lacrosse against the wall and not getting in trouble. So I'm like, wow, this is kind of a cool sport. So then that's how I got into the sport. And what happens is once you're introduced to the sport, you become passionate about it, you love it. Everybody loves the sport of lacrosse.
You certainly become fit.
Oh yeah, you have to be in shape.
You have to be in shape there. Talk to me about the physical demand.
Well, I mean, to be really good, like anything, you have to really work hard and make sure you can run. Basically, it's about running. It's about being able to make quick cuts and do those sorts of things. But for the little kids, basically, they run around anyway. So
Right.
That's why the L-ball is perfect for them. So they basically are just doing fast break lacrosse. And they're at that age where it's not like it's hard work.
Right.
It's just fun. And that's the important part of this. We spoke with a gentleman by the name of Ed Clark, very famous lacrosse coach, and he stressed in our curriculum making sure that it's fun. So we want to make sure it's fun. The other thing I found out the other day talking to USA Lacrosse was this disturbing statistic that a great many kids by the age of 13 are turned off from organized sports. So there's a whole crisis in this country of engaging youth in sports. So the solution is to start earlier and earlier. So that's why we start with third grade.
When you look at the fact that you have so many people walking away, but then you got a door that's open and people are coming through the door, obviously energetic, wanting to know a little bit more about it. What is that glue that makes them want to stay? To say, listen, you know what? I'm gonna stick this thing out.
I think feeling that you're able to catch and throw. So that's why we work on that early. And then I think the environment of having just top flight players who are just really nice people who are helping you learn those things. And as I said, it's a family environment, so the parents can come and stay while their kids are playing. It's not like one of these things where it's like drop your kid off and we've got them. It's come and spend time with us as well. And as I said, that's another reason why we're doing it in a community-based organization, so you feel a part of the community.
It's got to be a great feeling for you, obviously, to see the fruition of this. But talk to me about how long this has been coming.
This is something I've been, all my friends know I've been talking about this for a long time. This idea that this is the sport that is really made for the African-American athlete because of the innate physical skills we bring to bear and demonstrate in football and basketball and baseball and soccer. Now if we're able to join the sport of lacrosse and get the type of instruction, I think what we'll see is the sort of results that a Peter Westbrook achieved at the Peter Westbrook Foundation. You know, he's responsible for 17 gold medalists.
Really?
And we don't have gold medals in lacrosse, but it will be an Olympic sport in 2028. But you now have this kind of trajectory. We can say you can play it at these top flight schools. You can play it at an HBCU. You can go on and play pro ball. But the idea is to instill just this love of the sport. And then, as so many people know, and Bill Ellis, who played lacrosse at Harvard and is the chairman of Apollo Capital, he basically said everybody knows that lacrosse is the pathway to Wall Street.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who don't understand that there are a lot of people who are successful and takes you right there to Wall Street.
And so, and there's this, it's like a club, right? So if you play this sport and you talk to other people who play this sport, immediately they're fired up about just, more people playing the sport. And so what we're going to be doing is the 22nd and the 29th, we're going to have an open house. So you can come either one of those 2 weekends, come and sign your child up for the program. It's going to be at the Madison Square Boys and Girls Club. And they've got a rooftop AstroTurf soccer field.
Really?
So that's where the kids will be playing.
Okay.
So it'll be outside, but it's not outside. But it's that kind of cool venue. And then every kid will get a new lacrosse stick.
That type of exposure, just being exposed to, that, from my estimation, priceless. From your perspective, how do you put it?
I just think it's sort of the convergence of a lifetime of work, and thankfully it's all come together. And also it resonates with the community. Lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in the African American community. It's the leading choice as parents are looking towards non-traditional sports. So it's taking advantage of that, and they're looking for it. And it was sort of borne out by the launch when, you're there, you're like, oh man, is anybody gonna come? Oh man, where's everybody? And by 9:45, like the parents showed, the kids were there, and we were able to start at 10 o'clock. And it was just this amazing day of kids being able to play lacrosse. We have as our university partner, Princeton University, and so every kid had a stick. We couldn't loan them, but no kid didn't have a stick to play with. And then just the New York Center for Tennis, junior tennis, they contributed all the tennis balls because we didn't have them play with the hard balls because somebody might get hurt.
Right.
But they were all playing with tennis balls, and just that kind of environment to just have them catching and throwing, scooping. We had 3 goals where they were shooting. It was just fantastic. We even had a local company, Red Rabbit. They were our food sponsor, so they provided lunch. So it was like this amazing sort of community lacrosse classic.
Well, congratulations. And glad to see lacrosse right there in the neighborhood. People can come and check it out, and not just check it out, but really make the investment, I was talking with a mother not too long ago, and she was sharing how she was really concerned about her son playing football. And she said, well, lacrosse is a great option. And here you are talking. So, Bruce Lincoln.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. He's the executive director of Uptown Lacrosse. Now, listen, if you want more information, visit the website at uptownlacrosse.org.